Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for SixthVision, and in particular the figure Bonehead Test Subject 56. Now, some of you may not have heard of SixthVision, but you might have come across it as those, hence the name 1/6 figure. They're foot tall, and you have the figure line God Complex. This one's a little different, but along the same lines of that 1/6 scale. And also, I'd like to thank a good friend of mine. His name is Ash. He convinced me to try this out, and when I'm ready to try it out, it's actually kind of hard to particularly get the Bonehead. So he helped me out, and basically I got this with free shipping thanks to him. So that's awesome. And they're actually still quite expensive, but it's one of those 1/6 scale. Anyways, moving on. Now we have the shipper box here. Glitch Network. Got a skull face there. I'm not sure what that's say. Maybe it's Bonehead. Maybe. Right, so that's pretty much it for the shipper box. And let's take a look inside. I'm just gonna flip this over here. There we go. Now, Ash did mention to me that the packaging on this one is a little different from the God Complex, and this is actually a little bit more simpler. The God Complex has a bit more fancier packaging. Actually, I can't wait for them to release Athena. That's probably the one that I will get. So here we go. On this box, what do we see here? We got the Mitsuro TS56. Bonehead. This is the red version. There is an exclusive one which is a black and white. Slave type Bonehead 01. Body structure, no tracking after deletion course. Earth 7 megaparsecs across. Huh, interesting. And you got the baseball bat. Gotta love that baseball bat. And on the back here, you got some dots. Not sure if that's a puzzle. Interesting packaging. Alright, so let's go ahead and do an unboxing. So it just slides out. Right, so inside, we got the like a postcard here. Huh. So this is what we have. The one in the middle. I think this is the exclusive one, the black and white. And they actually have 3 more. And you're gonna have your gang there. Interesting. So that's the postcard. We got the figure here in a clamshell. It reminds me of a giant can. Alright, so let's see if I can take this out. Alright. Oh, that's cool. They give us spare joints. And that is much appreciated. When a company does that. Because the joints usually, well, not typically break, but this is a rare occasion that they do break. You have spare, and that's always good to have. All right, so let's see if I can remove this from packaging. I really appreciate it when they don't put tape. It makes it a lot easier. But some people prefer tape. It means it's sealed by the manufacturer. But anyways, so in this one, from what it looks like, we have 3 pairs of hands. We have the relax, and you have the closed fist, which might take a little while to. I gotta push it from the bottom. We got one for holding the sword. Got some nice details on it, even the veins on the back of the hand, and you have your closed fist here. Oh, cool. And we have the figure here. It's lightweight. And we have the sword here, which is... not even sure how to take this out. There we go. And we got the baseball bat. The bat actually has some weight on it. Alright, let me clear out the packaging and continue the review. Alright, to measure his height, I got a ruler here. He's pretty much a foot tall, 12 inches. And that in centimeters, that's roughly about 35. Yeah. So he's right there at that height, which is good. And he looks great. I got to play around with him a little bit, and so far he's very articulate. So again, he's quite lightweight. The texture of the clothing is quite nice, and you know, it kind of feels like a miniature sweater. Even the pants here. Yeah, I like the clothing. It's quite nice. Even the hood here. And you can even put it all the way in. There we go. So I'm actually kind of curious if they've changed the color of the hood. Maybe turn it into black. That way it's a bit more mysterious. But yeah, that's great. And even this part here is working. It's a workable like a drawstring, which you can use to enclose this. So that's really cool that they've added that. And even the ends, and they've tied a knot there. Quite nice. And what else? Even the pockets here, they're working. So you can actually have him put his hand in there in a certain pose. Although you gotta be a little bit careful. And even on the pockets on the pants here. Just put the finger there. Yeah. You can do a lot of stylized pose. I don't think he has butt pockets just on the side. Yeah, that's quite nice. And for the clothing, you even have these buttons. So you have these buttons here. He's not using that. He's actually using these little ones inside, which I'm fine with. And yeah, something probably a bit more manageable than smaller buttons. And got your inner shirt there. You can actually remove the jacket if you want to. It seems like we have that option, because yeah, but I'm not gonna remove that. But there is that inner body. I mean, you kind of see that. And as we go along with the articulation, and you can also remove his trousers if you want to. It's the same button here. I'm not gonna do that. And just looking on the shoes here, nicely painted. You got that gunmetal. Got this red piece here. Yeah, it's quite nice. Even the soles, it's molded. I like it. Got that nice logo on the back. What do we have here? We got a, it's like a marker and a wrench. Huh. Alright, so let's go over articulation. Alright, so let's start with the head here. And it's actually fairly good mobility. You can look down. It's basically, from what I can see here, it's... You got a ball joint there on the base of the torso. And you have a double jointed on the top of the neck here, and as well as the base of the head. That way it does give you quite a bit of mobility. You can look up to the side. So yeah, fairly good. Now for the shoulder, seems like, trying to feel here. Oh, okay, that's cool. It's kind of like a ratcheting joint that allows you to move move his shoulder forward, even on the back. So that's nice. You can move the It's like a hinge joint here for the arm. You can probably move it up as well. Just be careful with the clothing. It's quite nice. Now for the elbow, it feels like there's two joints. That's one, then that's another. And you can touch his other shoulder. It's quite nice. Now for the wrist joint. So this one, they give you a spare. You can take this out. There's some ridges there, which kind of helps you get a firmer grip inside. Then there's actually a clip which will demonstrate a bit later on as we swap the hands. Now for the fingers here, it's a nice mold and it's quite flexible. So that's great. Moving on, we have the torso here. Just trying to have a feel for it. So there seems to be a break right there for the abdomen, which gives you quite a bit of articulation there. Up crunch, back, and maybe trying to see if seems like a double joint there maybe, but it does give you quite a bit of articulation there. Then for the legs, and I did take a peek inside just out of curiosity. It is kind of like a can. You got your trouser or your kind of like a brief, but it's molded in that flesh color, if you are wondering. So you do have that articulation to kick high, which is good, to move it forward. And again, just be careful. If you do have this figure, be careful as you move the clothing. Make sure you don't stress it. But yeah, I mean, so far it's great. That here I can feel there's a separate knee joint here, and it's double jointed, kind of like the elbow. And you have that much knee bend, and I wonder if you can have more, although it might be about that much a knee bend. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if you can actually bend all the way to the touch the foot to the butt, but that's actually fairly good. So you get a bit of a ratcheting joint as well. Then for the ankle here, you got that double jointed ball joint, or double ball joint. And yeah, so this is the other spare of joints that you get from this. So you got two wrist and two ankle joints, just in case. You got the shoe here. I put that back in and gotta push it all the way in. There we go. So ankle articulation, it's quite nice. Let me put that back again. There we go. So for this, you can pull it out a little bit to give you a bit more articulation there, but yeah, it's quite nice. You can do all the tilts. There's no toe articulation, which I'm fine with. I mean, but the shoe itself is actually a little bit flexible. Yeah. Yeah, this is a quite nice figure. Although, it could be a doll as well. Alright, so there is no alternate face inside. And I think that's pretty much common for all the SixthVision. They have a mask. And I really like that mask. I mean, taking a closer look on that one, the details on it, the molding, and it might have been a separate piece inside, especially how they done that white there. So that's really awesome. I like that. I need some matching bike. Alright, so that's that. Moving on, let's go over the hands. Alright, so hands, which we've kind of briefly covered, are right here. Let's try the fist. Yeah. To swap out the fist, we're gonna pop the hands here. And more than likely, it's gonna pop out with a wrist joint. And you kind of have to pull it. Maybe wiggle it a little bit. It's on that clip. Is it clip? Yeah, clip joint. And putting this on for the first time, hopefully it'll be alright. Yeah, it's a little smaller. So I might have to play around with this or just get that joint to be. Well, it is rubbery. And there we go. Might be a good idea if you like to swap out the hands to just use the spare wrist joints. That way you don't have to keep forcing that out. Alright, so we got that in. Let's do the same thing for the other side. There we go. And yeah, this is my first time seeing this particular wrist joint. I'm not sure if they've done the same thing with other figure lines of this scale. So I like it. It works. It's not too hard to swap out. And you got your fist here. And he's ready to rumble. Yeah. And you can definitely do a lot of cool poses with this. And if you want to go with the Iron Man pose, you can also do that too. I'm actually amazed he can also pull off this pose because not a lot of figures can do this. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, it's really nice. A lot of poses. Alright, so next up, we'll go with this and along with the different weapons. Right, so the first weapon of choice is the baseball bat. Has some nice lettering to it. It says 50. Not sure if that's an infinity sign or go or 00. Huh. And it does have some weight on it. That's because there's a little hidden gimmick. If you pop this out, you get a blade inside. There we go. And this is actually die cast here. You can feel it. It has that cold feel of the metal. So the blade is die cast, but the handle is still lightweight. And as well as this. So this is plastic, and you got die cast there. So it's a kind of interesting match. And for me, like I mentioned in my previous video, I don't mind die cast. It's great to have it, but at minimal. Because it does hinder quite a bit of articulation if you have too much die cast. It weighs it down. And looking at that, kind of wish this part here is solid. There is that panel which kind of runs across. I mean, probably from afar and pointing at or showing it like this, you don't see that panel, but when you're pointing forward, yeah, there's that line there. I think that's the only thing there's something I didn't like about the bat. But other than that, it's a nice bat. It goes up to his waist, or a little taller. It is a long bat. And let's try this on here. And more than likely you can use both hands. There we go. I think I have a little bit of a difficulty getting him to hold it. It is a bit heavy. And let's see. Yeah, it's one of those that it needs an extra filling for the hand here. I've seen on other figures where they've kind of padded the palm, because especially when you have something like this, you're gonna have a little bit of difficulty holding it. But yeah, from this angle, it's not too bad. Yeah, there we go. You got a baseball bat. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, this pose right there, like, nice. He looks menacing. He looks like he's gonna cause a lot of trouble. Or he could be saving the day. Yeah, so yeah, quite nice for this baseball bat. Although it is a bit heavy, and because of that die cast, you can kind of see that this wrist joint might have a little bit problem keeping up with that weight. But having on that angle right there, it holds it. I guess it does hold it, except for that part there where it kind of just drops because of the weight. But yeah, quite nice. I like it. And let's remove this. Not sure if that's gonna make much difference in terms of the weight. Actually, it does. Alright, so I guess without this extra weight of the bat, you can wield the blade a little easier. So again, you got that nice blade right there. I wonder if you can hold this here. Oh, you kind of can. So as if he's removing it from the baseball bat. You can have the illusion of him unsheathing it. So yeah, that's great. I like that. And again, I mean, you have another one, and from this you can hold it with two hands. Yeah, that looks great. All right, I might as well show that. It's not gonna be a complete video of. I didn't show how you can hold with both hands. So yeah, it's quite nice having it with both hands. Definitely, it's gonna be more secure. And I really like that ratcheting joint on the shoulder here. It does help him with this pose. So that's quite nice. Yeah. And another thing I've noticed, the bat is actually quite long for what I remembered. Probably a typical bat will be up to here, but since it's somewhat like a blade, it is a long bat. Yeah. And let's see if we can. There we go. Yeah, quite nice. And let's remove again for the blade. There we go. And I guess if you want to stash the bat on the back, why not? So here we go. I kind of put it on the back with a sweater. Is it advisable to do that? Maybe not, but you can definitely hide it there. I haven't tried on the pants yet, but maybe. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the bat, and there is another weapon, which is another cool thing for him to have, and this is the sword. It's kind of like a broadsword. It's squared off, quite nice, and actually it's kind of similar to his blade here in terms of the design. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if the sword turns into this, or yeah. This one does not have any die cast. It's actually quite lightweight. It's kind of like a flexible ruler, and for good reasons. I'm really happy that this is not die cast, because something of this size, although it would be cool, it's die cast. It's gonna be hard for him to wield, yet alone the size and the weight of this already. So let's give that a try. And just, this is almost actually a bit taller than him. So yeah, that's great. Let's see if we can have him hold it in this pose. Just gonna slide this through his hand. There we go. Yeah, that's a tall sword right there. Alright, so another cool pose where the sword is on the back. Definitely, it's gonna be a little bit troublesome having it on this way. It's just it's heavy, but you know, nonetheless, you can have that pose where it's on the back. And as always, you can put it on top of his shoulder. There we go. Another awesome pose right there. yeah, really cool. And I guess the last thing we can try, let me do a couple more poses. Here we go, where it's just on the side here. And actually, the hand works quite well for this handle, as opposed to the round bat. So I guess that hand in particular is designed for this sword. I kind of wish they give another pair of hands for the bat, but yeah, nonetheless, it works for, I mean, for both ways. Yeah, definitely nice. And let's see how far I can hold it up. Yeah, gravity still is an issue, but I mean, it is heavy. And I don't think anyone will be posing it with it hand outstretched like that. I'll probably pose him on top of the shoulder. But yeah, definitely, it's a nice gimmick. It's a nice accessory. Yeah, this is really cool. And now with a dual hand, and I always kind of find it a little weird with the clothing on. Usually I deal with the 1/12 scale or the 6-inch figures where the molding of the clothing is there already. And once you get to the 1/6 scale, you actually have a cloth that you can play around with. And you need to try to get it kind of or organize or make it neat. That way the clothing doesn't kind of pop off on one side or doesn't look awkward at all. So it does give you a bit more flexibility in terms of posing, which is, yeah, it's really cool. Having a 1/6 scale figure, it's a whole new different thing. It's a different feel from the 1/6 line. Alright, so I think that's, well, actually no, one more. We gotta do this, one more. Alright, so this is a little ridiculous where you have two swords, but if you want to do a build, there you go. And I mean, this, he's able to hold it without support, but if you're gonna display it on this pose, you probably want to have that the other side of the handle leaning on the leg. That way it gives you know, less stress on the wrist joint or the whole arm. Yeah. So, yeah. You know, definitely a really nice pose right there. And now trying to compare this with the Hot Toys Mark 43 Iron Man. There you go. So I guess it's kind of in the scale. Obviously Iron Man's gonna be a little taller with that suit of armor. But yeah, quite nice. I guess if they ever fight with each other, I'm actually not quite sure if Bonehead has some special enhanced strength, maybe, or some kind of extra skill, or the helmet he has gives it extra edge. But you know, we can always speculate. But yeah, it's nice next to your Hot Toys. So if you're collecting the 1/6 scale, you know, definitely it will work quite well. And another question is, can you swap the heads? Why don't we give that a try? Alright, so let's first take a look at the joint here. And we're just gonna pop it out. There we go. And pop out this joint here. There we go. Alright, so comparing this particular joint, so the smaller one goes to the neck, the bigger one goes to the helmet here. There we go. Now comparing this with the Hot Toys, yeah, it seems like this neck joint here, it's about the same size. Almost. And to kind of demonstrate that, I'm gonna put it here. I don't think I can push it all the way down because of how the neck is. And to be honest, I'm kind of scared, but you can definitely rest it up there. And yeah, there you go. You can have Iron Man. Although I find that the Iron Man head is a little too small for the body, especially when you get all that clothing. it looks like a regular head. And comparing with the helmet, you know, this one has a lot more. And then again, you have that extra padding inside. A little different from Tony's Iron Man mask. But yeah, definitely you can try to do some face swaps. It works. Now, the question is, does that work for the Iron Man body? Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna try this out. And some of you are probably curious what it looks like. So here we go. I'm not gonna put the joint because it does not match, but yeah, it looks a little weird because of the different color scheme. Not too bad. I just realized that's 56. 5060, same thing on the back. That's subject number. Alright, so to wrap it up, this is an amazing figure. I really liked it. It's something new for me. And so, you know, something to kind of consider along this 1/6 scale. I really like the sculpt on the helmet there. The joints are fairly easy to move. They're double jointed on some of them. The wrist joint, it's actually not too bad. Although I kind of wish it was the other way around. The clip should be on the wrist so it stays there. And the one with the rigid, it's supposed to where the hand is. That way when you remove it, the joint stays on the forearm. And that way you can just swap out the hands a little bit more easier. But you know, regardless, swapping the particular wrist joint is not too bad, and it works. And I'm quite happy that they've put minimal die cast. I know some people prefer die cast. That kind of gives quality to the figure, but for me, I really like that this is more poseable with less of that. Although, you know, certain weapons like this one, it's still heavy. You just gotta play around with it, and as I demonstrated, you can still have him kind of like the outreach pose with the weapons. Other than that, yeah, really cool. I really like the clothing here, and as well as actual working pockets. Really nice. Anyways, that's about it for this review. I'll provide some links below if you are interested to know more about the Glitch Network. That's basically the website there. Or the SixthVision. And moving on, I am planning to get Athena as well as Susano. I think Susano is coming out first. And I believe that's currently available for pre-order at Amiami, and that's where I will get that. I don't think they have a distribution yet in the US. It'll be great if they do. It'll be more cheaper for us here stateside. But yeah, definitely this is a really cool figure. Highly recommend trying it out. And yeah, definitely worth getting. Anyways, that's about it. If you have questions, let me know. Until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching. That's not bad either. There we go, Stormtrooper. And you guys are wondering what I've been using. It's one of these Bondi heads. Yeah. Got like this, even Captain Phasma here. I need to get Darth Vader.